The foot I'm starting on doesn't have much weight. I'm mostly on my toes and my heel is elevated because I'm going to drive down to transfer my weight and raise my hip. Like my hip is the last thing that comes up. And as I raise my hip, my other heel comes up. And I basically alternate that movement. Whichever heel is elevated, that's the one you're transferring your weight on. When you're flat down on the floor, your weight is pretty much already there. So this helps me keep the counts in my head, but we'll talk about counts in a minute. Your hips are doing a smiley face motion, so side to side. But remember, we have to do this on the time. As we unfortunately didn't learn how to dance bachata in the Dominican Republic, it's a bit harder for us to start dancing on counts that aren't one. It's not impossible, but it's a bit harder because musically, that's what makes the most sense, at least to us. So we usually start dancing on one and the bongo is our rhythmic reference. Quick question, do you know how many instruments are in bachata and can you name all of them? Here's what a bongo sounds like. All this was to come to the point that at certain points, at certain counts, you're going to have to take a pause. So at 4 and 8. For example, when you're doing this basic side-to-side step, you're pausing, you're taking a tap at 4 and 8. It's exactly the same concept when you're just doing hip work. So if we look at this clip, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap. And my tap, I kind of pause there for a second. It's the same with my hips. 1, 2, 3, pause. 5, 6, 7, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I pause, I just kind of bounce, like a really soft bounce, to kind of mark that time. And the basic hip movement we went over, you can practice it on the spot just to get comfortable with it. Another key thing is make sure your knees are nice and bent, that they're nice and soft, because otherwise you're not going to be able to exaggerate your hips maybe as much as you'd like to if you're too rigidly straight. And here I was showing you that you can take this hip movement on a walk, when doing the square, when turning, but we'll get to that in other videos. And if you're like me, when I started, when I didn't know where to put my hands or what to do with them, keeping them around your belly button area is always a great start. And working on engaging your frame, so engaging your back muscles, even when you're dancing by yourself, is a great habit to build, because when you start getting into partner work, you're only going to understand where your partner wants you to go or where the movement of the dance is heading to if you're communicating with your partner through your frames. So if you're dancing by yourself and you don't know where to put your arms, as default, just keep them around your belly button area.